How y'all doing? It's Katie here, and welcome to the second episode. It's
Woo!
yeah, it's October 3rd. Yeah. Today, find out the latest moves on the Diddler. Hear about the latest Netflix sensation, Monsters. Tune in as the girls discuss our favorite Mean Girls iconic moments, while we list our all-time fave villain and more. So let's go. In this segment, I will be sharing this week's trending pop culture headlines. Time for Katie's top five and five. Things are looking very slippery for hip hop mogul Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, all names listed in his indictments, by the way. On Tuesday, October 1st, it was revealed at a press conference that in a 10-day period, more than 3,000 people reached out with allegations against Combs. Diddy has been hit with 120 new sexual assault allegations so far, as a Texas-based attorney, Tony Busby, claims that he is representing more than 100 accusers who have encountered Combs within the span of over 20 years. According to NBC News, it was shared that some victims were minors at the time of the alleged exploitation and assault, one of them being only 9 years old. Yeah, y'all heard correctly. The attorney shared the disturbing details that 25 victims out of the 120 lawsuits were minors at the time of their exploitation. In the press conference, Busby shared that the victims are evenly divided, as in half were men and the other half were women. The racial breakdown was listed as well, in which 62% were black, 30% were white, and 8% were either Hispanic or Asian. The attorney also stated that it is not just Combs that will be named as a defendant, but that there will be other high profile individuals along with some household names. He quotes, "Many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed," Busby said in the recent press conference. The jaw-dropping news comes shortly after the arrest of Combs on September 16th, as his arrest followed a series of allegations, starting with the lawsuit by Combs' ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, who accused him of sexual assault and physical abuse. The lawsuit was settled a day after it went public, but more claims were soon emerged. According to USA Today, multiple AR-15 guns, large capacity magazines, evidence of the crimes in the indictment, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant were discovered in his New York home during the raids following his arrest. Like, I'll wait until we finish. Keeping up with the topic of jail, Netflix, along with the TV phenom Ryan Murphy, have done it again. The director, producer, and writer has partnered up with the streaming platform once again, continuing the American biographical crime drama anthology television monster series. Following its first season, Monster, Jeffrey Dahmer, starring Evan Peters, Murphy and Ian Brennan presents the infamous monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, which follows the two brothers who fatally shoot their parents inside of their Beverly Hills home in 1989. During the trials, the brothers cited years of abuse as the reason for murdering their parents, as stated on Netflix. A lot of viewers have been buzzing about the highly anticipated and thrilling show, especially about the acting, looks, and yeah, the acting. According to Variety, the series rated high, unsurprisingly taking the number one title on Netflix during the September 23rd through 29 viewing window. The true crime project hit 19.5 million views its first full week of availability, up from the 12.3 million views it achieved in 4 days on last week's chart. The show stars Javier Bardem as Jose Menendez, Chloe Savini as Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, Cooper Koch as Eric Menendez, and my boy of the month, Nicholas Alexander Chavez as Lyle Menendez. We'll speak on that later. But on a serious note, this week we have lost some of television's most known and beloved actors. Actor John Amos, who starred as the family patriarch on the hit 1970s sitcom Good Times and earned an Emmy nomination for his role in the formative 1977 miniseries Roots, has sadly passed away. He was 84. It was revealed and confirmed on Tuesday, October 1st, that he actually died on August 21st from natural causes in Los Angeles, according to his publicist, Belinda Foster. Actress Maggie Smith, known for groundbreaking roles including Downton Abbey, Harry Potter franchise films, obviously, Sister Act films, and her Oscar-winning performance for the prime of Miss Jean Brodie in 1969, passed away Friday, September 27th. She was 89. Smith's sons, Chris Larkin and Toby Stephens, said in a statement that Smith died early Friday in a London hospital, according to ABC News. Broadway star Ken Page, known for standout roles in The Wiz and Cats, but not only that, but he was known for Oogie Boogie in the Disney classic The Nightmare Before Christmas, sadly died on Monday at his home in St. Louis. He was 70, confirmed by his longtime friend Dorian Hanaway on Tuesday, October 1st. May they all rest in peace and they're forever legends. Looks like actor Zachary Levi's career might go shazam after he openly endorsed former President Donald Trump at a rally in Michigan on September 28. According to Variety, the actor stated his stance, introducing former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., former Rep. Tulsi Gabbard, to the stage. The Tangled actor was at the Team Trump's Reclaim America tour event to host and moderate a conversation with Kennedy and Gabbard. And he quotes, "We're here to make sure that we are going to take back this country. We are going to make it great again. We are going to make it healthy again," Levi said on the stage. He continued, "And so I stand with Bobby and I stand with Tulsi and I stand with everyone else who is standing with President Trump because I do believe of the two choices that we have. And we only have two. Donald Trump, President Trump is the man that can get us there." Okay. And lastly, congrats are in order for actress Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bon Jovi as they recently just shared photos from their extravagant secret wedding from back in May. The newlyweds said, "I do" at Villa Cittadinale in Italy in front of family and friends. Millie looked gorgeous in the photos, and many fans saw a familiar face in the photos as well. In the photo dump social media post, you can see Millie's Stranger Things co-star Matthew Modine officiating the wedding. How sweet! Obviously, Jake's father, the one and only John Bon Jovi, was also in attendance on the big day wearing a white tuxedo, looking sharp, matching with his son, the groom. In the wedding photos, you'll notice that Millie stunned in four different wedding gowns, period. The actress, along with her husband, both captioned their wedding pics on Instagram forever and always. Congrats once again to Mr. and Mrs. Bon Jovi. Ooh, that was a mouthful. I doubt that was 5 minutes. I'm thinking like 7 minutes. But to talk more in depth about some of these trending topics are my co-host, Kaitlyn and Rosie. Hey girls, what's up? Woo, this is
Hey
a lot to
girl.
digest.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sweating, bro. All that stuff I just said.
Oh my goodness, what we've been going through lately. Oh my
Oh, what a
gosh.
time. Like, uh, what do you guys want to digest first? Because it's a lot.
We have to dive into Diddy. We
Woo!
really
Lord
do.
have mercy. Can we just start off
Lord
by the
have
fact that
mercy.
they found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Slipping and sliding, sliding and slipping. They're
Oh my
messy.
gosh.
Like, what are we doing? And I didn't include it in the story, but apparently, like, they reached out to his attorney and he claimed that there's like a bunch of like Costco's nearby and he purchased it there. But Costco like clapped back and responded real quick. They're like, no, we don't even sell
No,
baby oil. So,
Way.
like, I
also,
have,
like, if you've ever owned a bottle of baby oil, you have that for years. You're not just going through
right,
thousands of bottles of baby oil. That's
right.
just not a thing that you're doing.
That's just very disturbing. And and just like the clips alone from earlier this year that was released from I think 2016, where he obviously was physically abusing singer Cassie in the hotels and dragging her, like that was such a tough watch. And honestly, it's sad, but because of her braveness to speak up against such a high profile person in the industry, all of this is unraveling. And is this just more and more like apparently there's like a Diddy list. I don't want to I'm not gonna read it because I don't want to like accuse anyone yet. But once we get like as the
The
weeks go
official list.
by, guys, like this is a story that is gonna keep on like coming back to our podcast.
All these photos that are resurfacing about
Woo!
these well-known people, these actors that attended like his parties,
Right,
and you're like, oh. And then looking at clips from like past references throughout the years talking about him that would go over our heads, thinking, oh, it's
right,
just a run-on joke. But
right,
come to realize, no,
right,
this was kind of like people warning about him. And
right.
we would see things, in cartoons and things like
Yes,
that, in like young,
yes, The
young kid
Simpsons.
shows. And it's like,
Woo! Lord have mercy. This is crazy. Like everything was like right there in front of our eyes, but I don't know. It's just, oh, it's a lot to take in. Like this is gonna obviously shake up the whole industry, starting from the higher profile like actresses, actors, singers, whoever. And as we've been seeing lately, a lot of CEOs, a lot of execs are leaving their companies, and there's a lot of shakeups happening right now. So I'm I'm not ch- I don't want to say I'm excited because I feel for the victims, but at the same time, like I want this list because a lot of people are like pretending to be who they're not actually. And it's the ones that you listen to on your daily rotation. It'd be the ones that you watch films every single day. The athletes that you support, oh, Lord have mercy. It's a hot mess. And J. Cole said it first. I'm just gonna say,
She
but
knows.
yep. And I've heard also that 50 Cent, he's working on a documentary. I
yes,
love the pettiness that he's always had.
that
He's
he's
always
been
been
wanting
sus.
to make this, right?
Yeah, he's been wanting to make it for a while. And a lot of people are the ones that I've seen that are speaking up about it are it's sad, but they're defending Diddy in a way.
Mm.
And it's hard to see. Like I've seen a clip of Tyrese recently saying that he would be at those parties, but he would leave before any of those activities would occur. He said something like the events that occurred later on in those other rooms I just left.
But like
But it
you knew
just
what was happening.
thank you. But it also shows like even if you don't attend those after those freak offs, whatever, these celebs are all well aware of what's going on, and it's just so disgusting. Like I can't wait to see what happens. Like, whew. A
Yeah.
lot of these people are about to go down. But as the podcast goes on, guys, ooh, and the names get revealed, um, it's gonna be interesting. Also, like the victims that spoke up, thank you, and it's just like the beginning because all it takes is one person to speak up, and obviously now it's grown 300 or 3,000 people reach out to this attorney alone. So the cases are probably more than 120 now. So, and that's just from yesterday. So I'm assuming it's obviously grown, and also not just your like victims like are we're regular people, but there's also celebrities that were affected by this as well. So I want to reach out to them and just not reach out, but obviously like vouch out for them and hopefully their voices are heard one day whenever they decide to speak up or, get justice that they deserve. So that's all I'll say about Diddy right now. Did he do it? Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
waiting a whole I've been waiting a whole week to say that. But I don't know. It's crazy. Any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Zachary Levi. What
Oh,
are you doing?
what
I
a
saw
hot
a tweet.
That
mess. That caught me off
oh
guard.
Yeah.
yeah, seriously.
Not by
N-
Flynn.
Not
Check
in
his thumb
my
drive.
2024 bingo card. Like
Right,
once I saw that post, I was like,
right, right. There's just a lot of revealing this year. Like, I don't know what's in the air. Oh my gosh. But it just sucks because he has such a um he's like I don't want to say like legend because I feel like you have to be a certain standard to be a legend, but he has a rich history like in film, animations, like
He has a
Broadway,
good resume.
like
sitcoms.
he's talented. So it sucks to really like find out stuff like this. Like be here's my stance. I have friends that are Republicans. That's not even the issue. But if you're out here like supporting Trump and JD Vance, especially after that VP debate and him talking about them fact checking them. Why do they fact check? I'm just like, I just don't understand. You just don't make sense to me. So it just really like dumbs him down. No offense, and it's just a shame because I liked Zachary Levi when no one was defending the Shazam movies. I was the one to tell them that just give it a chance. But a lot of
You
celebrities,
were. I can vouch for that. You did.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
like the things I did, and Flynn is like one of my top three Disney animation like husbands. So it's like a shame. It's just a shame, but um. I'd rather find out now than I support him like anymore. But it's just a hard take.
Yeah,
But
it's one thing to be, part of a political party, but another thing going to an actual supporting a political figure,
right,
and
right.
just him being a Trump supporter is like, oh man, like I loved him too, and it's really sad because lately a lot of people have been saying like, oh, he's having a downfall in his acting career, and I'm just like,
Right,
what are you talking about? Like he's
right.
fine, don't worry. Maybe his films right now don't cater to you, but it does for another group. But now it's like there's no really coming from this. There really
Yes.
isn't.
Yeah.
And I think he claimed also that he figured that announcing his vouch for Trump is gonna ruin his career. And on one of the recent episodes of The View, Whoopi Goldberg was like she kind of clapped back and was like, no, it's not necessarily gonna ruin your career because Hollywood in general, I mean, as we're like finding out day by day, there is a lot of people like that. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna ruin his career because obviously it's sad, but there's a lot of those kind of people in this world. But it's definitely gonna change the view of him and change his TikTok forever, forever. Um, but on that note, thank you, Kaitlyn and Rosie, for joining in and giving the listeners a rundown on these topics. Today is a special day.
Ooh, yes, it is.
Talking to Aaron more and more. On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd.
Today is October 3rd, aka Mean Girls Day. Woo!
Woo!
Yes, today is October 3rd, and to celebrate the iconic film, I want to ask my fellow co-hosts, what are some of your favorite Mean Girls moments from the pop culture movie classic, or any like thing that was significant from the film?
I just think it's so not fetch that I'm the only one wearing pink right now
Ah!
when we're talking about Mean Girls. But like,
I
it's
outgrew
fine.
everything I had pink, unfortunately.
Right though,
I
Wednesday we were pink.
Wednesdays we were pink.
Slay.
But it's fine. I'll forgive you guys. No, I do. I love fetch. I like
Yes,
fetch was a
like a
thing.
real thing. I know in the
Fetch was a
film
real thing.
they're like
Uh,
stop trying to make fetch happen, but it's such a cool word. Like
I just think Mean Girls is such like one of the best quotable movies of all time. Just
if
like
You
there
don't even
the
go here.
it doesn't even go here.
exactly. Why do you think I have my
It's not
hood
my
on?
fault that you're
I have
obsessed
my
with
hood on
me.
for a reason, guys. You don't even go here. That's my favorite line of the film. I say that for everything. I say that for
No,
everything.
mine. I say this often. I'm just like, you go, Glen Coco, and nothing else to say.
Period.
But like,
Yes.
Oh
I
my
would be at
gosh.
work, like multiple jobs, like throughout like all of the jobs I've ever had. I'd just be like, "You go, Glen Coco," and they'd be like, "Huh?" I'd be like, "They're on
There's
trip."
so many iconic moments. Like not even just dialogue, but like just scenes when Katie Heron, the Lindsay Lohan's character, when she like quickly finds out she doesn't make friends fast. She eats in the restroom for lunch. It reminds me of middle school, like straight up. It's just moments like that. It's funny because my name is also Katie, and people used to call me Katie Heron growing up. Like, I mean, I accepted it obviously because I enjoyed the movie, but it's just like interesting to see like a movie made in I think 2004 is still somewhat relevant in terms of like clicks, not just in school, but at your work, like even in your family. It's just like a pop culture phenomenon, and it was for a reason. And on that note, I want to keep the topic of Mean Girls alive, and I want to ask you guys, who are some of your all-time fave villain or mean characters from any TV show, movie, animation, or even reality TV?
Hmm, it's a great question. Recency bias is gonna take over, and I'm gonna say the stranger slash chimera, aka Manny Cinto in that. But
Yeah.
that's just my recency bias. That's just my recency.
Ah.
I think I have like a real answer, but I gotta think about that.
Well, one of mine's like off the bat is definitely just diving back into like Marvel and Avengers. There's two. There's two. One is Killmonger, aka Michael B. Jordan. He
The
was
one
really
villain I actually agreed with, for some points, I'm like,
yeah.
he has a point there,
Yeah, right.
like,
Right. Because he was hitting up with
hmm.
facts. Like when the museum, when he was taking all like the monuments and
Yeah.
stuff back, I was like, he's
Mhm.
Yep.
not wrong, technically.
Technically, is he a little
Uh,
bit misguided?
right,
Yes,
Yes.
but he's
right.
not
Yes.
wrong.
And his closing monologue before, I mean, spoilers,
Oh,
yes, but if you haven't watched Black
if you
Panther,
don't watch Black Panther, what are
tell
you
with your
doing?
life. His closing monologue and before he died was
Yeah.
like very like it was for the culture. It was for the culture. And also my second, I current like from the films, not just from the comics, obviously Thanos, because they're still based on the movies, they're still like recovering from all of that happened within the span of the 5 years or whatever. But he's such a great villain to the point where I've had like multiple dreams with him in it, and me being in an Avenger for some reason, and him like I don't know. I've had like scary
Interesting.
dreams, and I don't have scary dreams. If I have a scary dream about like a superhero or a villain, that means like you're messing with my mind. And um Thanos' character, he really like, I don't know, it became deep after some point. We got the introduction of him, but also you get like the behind the stories, like Gamora, his daughter, and just things like that, like his background, and also Killmonger. They had like deep backgrounds on how they became the way they became, greedy and just things for power. And I think that's why they're my favorite villains in like that point of view. But there's also I also have other villains like just hot take. Who? Okay, before I say my answer, if you were to have like a Disney villain, a favorite villain from Disney, who would it be?
Favorite regular Disney, like not
Or either
like
one, like Disney Channel
Disney.
or Disney.
Oh, I know what your hot take is. Never mind. I feel like I know what your hot take is.
I guess.
As is it Sharpay? Is not a real villain? Did I get it?
But like, it's funny because like, okay, at first I think I thought she is a villain at some point, but as the movies go on, like you just she just wants to
I
be a
don't
star.
think she's not. I don't like us rewriting history
Yeah,
that Sharpay is not a villain. She was
I
absolutely a
don't think she's
villain.
like a complete villain, but
She was
I like
she was a
that.
mean girl.
Yeah, a mean girl. That's
Because
right.
like, why are you
She's
out
my
here trying
favorite
to
mean girl,
steal
not villain.
like this girl's man? Like,
She's
relax.
right. She's my favorite mean girl, but I mean, why not?
No,
Like she has
I see,
everything
I
to
see your point.
love.
I see your point.
Like I don't
Um,
know. She's an inspiration, so I aspire to be a mean girl just like her. But that was my little hot take. But
I think the villain with the most aura, that's probably my favorite, is
ooh,
Maleficent.
ooh,
Oh,
good
yes.
one. That's a good one. Angela Angelina Jolie in general just has like a lot of aura. So just like it's crazy. Just in her presence would probably make me melt. But
Mhm.
like she did a wonderful job in Maleficent. And that's another character like you got to really understand the story before you like go ahead and call her a villain. There's a reason why. Um
My hot take is that I prefer villains to good guys in movies because they're more complex and like I feel
right.
like
I
the
agree.
the morally gray I feel like is more human and more like you could be more sympathetic and kind of connect with them more than like the goody more moral high ground feel of
Yeah, I
protagonists.
agree. Who are some of your favorite either like Mean Girl or villains, Rosie? I'm curious.
So I want to start off with my favorite villain, uh, Kathy Bates in Misery. I absolutely loved
Okay.
her character growing up. That's where I fell in love with Kathy Bates. She's an amazing
Oh
actor.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She was
Another
literally when the Emmys that just passed, she was literally on the stage for it was her and a couple other people on stage presenting because they were considered like obviously
Some of the most
like
iconic
TV's yeah
villains.
most iconic villains. And
I
I
need to look
agree
that
with
up. I did not see that. Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes.
I
Um
need to look that
yeah, she
up.
was on stage with I haven't watched Homelander, but the guy that plays him was on stage, and is it Gianni Espirito? Is that his name? I might chop it up, but you guys look it up.
Giancarlo Esposito
Yes,
for
yes,
Breaking Bad.
yeah. They
Yeah,
were
I
on
was gonna
stage
mention
as
him
like
too.
iconic villains, and like the aura was insane. But I agree with you with Kathy Bates,
Hair he has is like
right? Hello.
so like
Some people were just made to just only play like villains.
trying to emulate that kind of like face when I'm walking because I don't want anyone to come up to me. It's like, hey,
So
leave me alone, you know?
Girl, me at the
Um,
mall when they when they when they asked you want to try product. But anyway, continue with your list.
Another favorite is Christoph Waltz as Hans Lander Hans Landa in Inglorious Bastard. I absolutely
Okay.
loved his character. He was very smart. I love the way he played the role. Okay, there's one villain that creeped me out that I closed my laptop. I stopped watching the
Oh
movie.
shoot.
Oh my God. Robert De Niro and Kate Fear.
Ooh.
Haven't heard of
He
that.
was
Ooh.
he's so damn creepy.
Oof.
Like, I was just like, okay, I need to watch this film. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Let me watch it. And I was like in my room. It was dark,
Yeah.
and just it was just so eerie. He's a stalker,
Oh,
and it's
girl.
just like I already love him, right? He's one of my top favorite actors, because I
Yeah.
love mob movies, and so that's why I wanted to watch it because okay, this is kind of a different role than what I'm used to seeing him, and yeah, totally different. I haven't had the courage yet to continue watching the film, but I have never been creeped out. Not even Hannibal Lecter creeped me out like this.
Ooh,
Another great villain,
girl.
but
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, Kate Fear. I'll let you know if we do finish the movie anytime soon, but very creepy. Very creepy.
Damn. Speaking of creepy, I have a lot, but I just wanted to share this. Like, everyone besides Courage on Courage and the Cowardly Dog, like, that show was creepy. But, like, literally everyone on there, that show was very, like, oh, the grandpa, the grandma. Like, it was very eerie. I don't know, they were just, like, just torturing the poor dog. But that's an honorable mention. But I have a lot. But,
I love that we grew up with that kind of show because
yes.
these supernatural beings were on the characters were on there, and just a little dog just trying to save his family. But I love that we grew up with this because it just shows complex characters there are out there,
Right.
and it might have been a lot for us as children, but like seeing it
Yeah.
now as an adult, it's like whoa, like
Right.
my goodness, what did we watch? But I'm really
Yes.
thankful that we grew up with that show.
Yes. And it's crazy because I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I mean, we were watching that as like what, kids, preteens, and things like that are not normally on that high of a level shown on television just like that
Not
for kids.
anymore.
Not anymore, yeah, not anymore. But growing up, it's just cool to see, and it kind of like it gave a character development to me as well. Like, I don't know, it's just something. It was magical during those days. Like, not
Ooh,
only,
I have a question. Wait,
yeah,
continue. Sorry, I'll
yeah.
say
Go
later.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, did you guys ever watch Steven Universe?
I
Uh,
didn't really get into it.
I'm not gonna lie, I did
Because
not.
if you guys ever finish it, I want to talk if Rose Quartz was really a villain. Like,
Mm.
Ooh,
I'll just keep that in your heads if you ever
Right.
finish it.
Was,
ooh.
Because
was
I
my
kind of like
this
wish.
that
show,
concept though of a question of just characters that were not necessarily portrayed as villains, but like, were they really, or were they just misunderstood and the whole time the other person was really the villain? I think about stuff like that all the time. I can't, I don't know, a character that kind of like, or like plot twist in movies like Toy
Mm.
Story, hello, Toy Story 4, but
Coco.
just I love like plot twists
Coco.
like
Oh my
that.
gosh,
Like,
Coco. Yeah.
yes, see, exactly. I like little plot twists. But like, just like you're saying, I enjoy those kind of things, and I'm glad that we're able to grow up with that kind of stuff and just, I don't know, experience all types of stuff. Um,
I forget which film came first. I think it's Shattered Glass with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis.
mm,
When I found out the twist of who really was the villain, I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I love moments
I
like
love
that.
those
Like,
movies.
uh, what, I can't even think of the last movie I went in theaters and noticed that kind of a plot twist. It would take too long, but I enjoy those kind of movies, and that's what like brings everything together. Anyways, fall has just begun, which means it's time to wear sweaters, watch autumn shows or Halloween movies, eat yummy snacks, and drink hot tea. Tea. Speaking of which, it's time for our next segment. It's time to read some of your hot takes. These were all submitted anonymously, so your opinions are safe, of course, and chances of being canceled are very slim. So, let's read some of our submissions. So we just background information, guys that are tuning in. We release weekly or bi-weekly themes per episode, and our first official theme was your favorite mean or villain from any TV show, like we discussed, movie, film, animation show. And we got a lot of submissions. So I got about 7, and um some of these I've never seen, but some of them I know of. So we're gonna read off the submissions. So the first submission said Celia Fu. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have not watched The Help. Don't cancel me. But but Celia Foot from The Help. Never have I ever wanted to punch someone through a screen. But I know what they're talking about. Yes. Maybe I have seen it, but it's just been a very long time. Yeah, I know what they're talking about. I'm gonna read the submissions and then we can go back and like pick which one we want to talk about. So that was the first submission. The second submission, which I agree with, and that's why I didn't mention it earlier. Joker from The Dark Knight is the best, hands down. R.I.P. Heath Ledger. I agree with that one, and we'll get back to it in a moment. So the third submission, they said Jax from Vanderpump Rules. Oh my gosh, the true villain of that show. But that's not the only one someone mentioned. I'll get down to it. The fourth submission, they said Monoa Belushi from Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kazuna is their favorite villain. Okay. Don't really stand Digimon. Pokemon girly for life. Thank you. Submission 5, they said Homelander from The Boys. Obviously. And they specifically put underneath a real piece of work. Submission 6 said Stassi from Vanderpump Rules, and from their favorite TV show, Klaus from Vampire Diaries. Ooh.
I love Klaus. Oh my gosh, he's my favorite villain. Oh my god. I changed my answer.
Woo-wee. And our last submission says, I guess it's like a continuation from the last one. They said, ooh, also A from Pretty Little Liars. Okay, list. We got a good list.
Great list.
Do you want to dive into why Klaus from Vampire Diaries might be a great villain?
Klaus is an amazing villain. He is the perfect amount of like misunderstood, and also he's just a dick. And like it's just the perfect marriage. And he's like also one of those villains that's like overpowered. So for the majority of his like run through Vampire Diaries is like he's undefeatable. You can't kill him. He's the hybrid. He's like unkillable. Like you guys are all screwed.
He's got that infinite aura.
Yeah, he has infinite aura. Like truly. Also,
I love that. Yeah, he's fine. I'm not gonna lie.
He's fine. But I would say in the spin-off, the originals, he's definitely less of a villain. It's like more humanizing, which is probably why I have this opinion. Yeah. But yeah, I love him in Vampire Diaries. I think he was one of the greatest villains in that franchise.
Okay, I agree. But I also agree with whoever put Heath Ledger, because
best to ever do it.
Yeah. Like, I don't think there will ever be anyone that can top that performance. And just he is and will always be the Joker. And every time, like right now, I know Joaquin Phoenix is starring as the Joker in these films, and Jared Leto did in the past, whom I dislike so much, but we'll say that for another day.
That's another topic for another day.
Right, that's another topic. Oh, Lord, I got stories on him. But anyway, it's just, when you think of the Joker, Heath Ledger's the first person I think of, or just like Batman in general, him and Christian Bale, for me at least. But when a character can just dive deep into that, it's just very like, I don't know. It's probably a good reason why I'm not in that industry. Like, just characters that you have to like really dive deep in. Also, we mentioned Evan Peters earlier with that Dahmer story one. It's just hard to really get those characters out of your real life. And it's it just shows you have to put in so much work and time to master that craft of being such a good villain. And that's why I want to recognize Heath Ledger and thank you for whoever put that in the submission. I think that was a great submission, and that's just a perfect example of a great just villain, all time villain. And it's just gonna be one of my top answers for generations to come. But that's one that stuck out to me. And okay, going back to Celia Boot, is it the one that got like a poop pie? Period. Must have been dessert. Thank you. I feel like I haven't seen the help maybe since I was like a little kid, but that's like I guess.
She was just a racist.
Oh yeah.
She was a racist mean girl, and just like yeah, you deserve that.
Deserved.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you guys for submitting all of this. This is really cool. Like I was kind of expecting a lot of people to do it because a lot of people have a lot to say about television, like villains and things like that. But I wasn't expecting this much. So thank you guys. And if you guys were want to participate in things like this, just tune in every other week. A couple days before our show airs on Thursdays, we'll be putting out on our stories submissions. We'll give you guys like our next theme like a couple days prior to that. So just keep tuning into our socials, follow, and all that good stuff. And thank you to my fellow amazing co-hosts, Rosie and Kaitlyn, for sharing such a passion for pop culture like moi. We are going to have a blast and have some cool things prepared for the listeners as our podcast continues and develops. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for listening to a silly podcast about serious pop culture moments. This has been
Rosie,
Kaitlyn,
and Kadie here. See you next time for the 3rd episode of Hey, how y'all doing? Releasing on Thursday, October 17th. Bye. Slay.